The galactic community had always viewed humans with a mixture of fascination and horror. They were the species that shouldn't exist, fragile endurance hunters from a death world, capable of both extraordinary violence and inexplicable compassion. The Krithani, apex predators from the ice world of Vexthar, understood this better than most. Anna Martinez sat cross-legged in the observation dome of Research Station Kepler 442b, her datapad forgotten in her lap. The triple sunset painted the alien sky in shades of purple and gold, and despite her best efforts, exhaustion finally claimed her. Her head tilted forward, chin touching her chest. As she drifted into sleep while sitting upright, something the Krithani found utterly bizarre. "The human female has entered stasis mode again," chirped Krelak, the youngest of Ambassador Theron's offspring. The cub's crystalline eyes reflected the fading light as she watched Anna from across the dome. "Not stasis," corrected her brother Vextar, his tail swishing with adolescent authority. "Humans call it sleep. They do this for approximately 8 hours in every cycle." While sitting, Krelak's confusion was evident in the way her ear flaps flattened against her skull. But she could fall. She could be attacked. This is when prey is most vulnerable. Their eldest sibling, Thala, padded closer to the sleeping human, her movements silent despite her considerable bulk. At 6 months old, she was already the size of an earth lion, her silver fur rippling over corded muscle. The humans have no natural predators on their homeworld that hunt them anymore. They eliminated them all. They eliminated their predators? Krelak's voice rose to a squeak. All of them? Father says humans hunted everything that posed a threat to their young, Vextar explained, moving to join his sister. Even the great fanged cats that could run faster than hover vehicles. The humans just walked after them for days until the cats collapsed. Anna's breathing remained deep and even, completely oblivious to the predators circling her. Her dark hair had come loose from its bun, falling across her face. In sleep, she looked even more fragile than usual. Soft skin without scales or chitin, no claws or fangs visible, her body temperature radiating heat into the cooled air of the dome. "She is very small," Krelak observed, creeping forward with the curiosity that often overrode caution in cubs. "And soft. How do humans survive?" Thala sat on her haunches, her massive head tilting as she studied Anna. "Do you remember the training exercise last week? When the combat drones malfunctioned?" Vextar's tail went rigid at the memory. "When they cornered us in the lower deck? The human male, Jack, he stepped between us and them. He had no armor, no weapons. The drones were programmed to simulate Zetherian shock troopers." Thala's voice carried a note of awe. He used a metal bar in his bare hands. "Took 17 stun blasts before the system reset. Father said humans have something called adrenaline," Vextar added. "It lets them ignore pain and injury when defending others." Krelak had reached Anna now, close enough to feel the warmth radiating from the human's body. The small creature was making soft sounds in her sleep. Not distress calls, but something rhythmic. Snoring, the cubs had learned it was called. Her packmate Jack called her a mother hen, Thala said softly. "We researched this. It means she protects those weaker than herself, even when they are not her biological offspring." "Like us?" Krelak asked. "Like us." The youngest cub made a decision. Carefully, with the deliberate movements of a predator approaching prey, she climbed up the human's crossed legs. Anna's body swayed slightly but didn't wake. Krelak continued upward, her small claws retracted to avoid piercing the human's strange cloth skin, until she could rest her head on Anna's shoulder. The human was warm, comfortingly warm, and soft in a way that Krithani never were. "Krelak," Vextar hissed. "You'll wake her!" But Anna only shifted slightly, her breathing unchanged. In her sleep, one arm moved unconsciously to cradle the cub, holding her secure against the gentle rise and fall of her chest. "The human..." Krelak's voice was muffled against Anna's shoulder. "She is holding me. Even in her sleep state, she protects." Thala moved closer, studying the strange tableau. "Father says this is why humans are dangerous. Not because of their weapons or their endurance, but because they form packs with anything, even species that should be their prey. They share their dens, their food, their warmth, and we protect what we love," came a voice from the doorway. The cubs spun around, Krelak nearly tumbling from Anna's lap. Jack Collins stood at the entrance, his arms crossed, a slight smile on his face. Even in the dim light, the cubs could see the scars on his forearms, marks from the drone incident, already healing at the remarkable speed humans possessed. "Don't worry," Jack said quietly, moving into the dome. "She does this with everyone." Fell asleep during a diplomatic meeting once. The Tyrillian ambassador thought she was dying. He knelt beside Anna, and the cubs noticed how carefully he moved, how his hands were gentle as he brushed the hair from her face. This was the same human who had fought the drones with savage efficiency, who had roared defiance at machines designed to terrify. "Is she broken?" Vexitar asked carefully. Jack laughed, a soft sound that wouldn't wake his companion. "Broken? No. She's just been working 36 hours straight, making sure the station's life support would support Krithani physiology. She's been triple-checking every calculation, every system redundancy. You know why? The cubs waited. Because she was worried about you three, about whether you'd be comfortable, whether you'd feel safe." Jack's voice carried quiet pride. "That's what humans do. We break ourselves taking care of others." Krelak tightened her grip on Anna's shirt, her small body curling closer. "This is why the galaxy fears you. Because you care." "No," Jack corrected gently. "The galaxy fears us because we care and we remember. Hurt something we love and we'll walk across galaxies to make it right." He reached out to stroke Krelak's head, the gesture automatic. "But love something we protect and we'll burn suns to keep it safe." Anna stirred, her eyes fluttering open. For a moment she looked confused, then felt the weight on her shoulder. Her expression softened into something the cubs had learned to recognize: affection. "Hey, little one," she murmured to Krelak, her voice rough with sleep. "Bad dreams?" The cub shook her head, unable to articulate what she'd learned, what she'd felt. That humans were strange and terrifying and wonderful because they could be apex predators and nurturing guardians in the same breath. Anna looked up at Jack, then at Thala and Vextar. "Group cuddle, huh? Should have known." She stretched out one arm. "Come here, you two. Plenty of room." The older cubs exchanged glances with Jack, who simply shrugged with a smile that said, "I told you so." Within moments, 3 Krithani cubs, each capable of taking down prey twice their size, were curled around a single human female, purring in contentment. Jack settled against the window beside them, his hand resting on Anna's shoulder. "You know," he said to the cubs, "there's an old human saying, 'Not all who wander are lost, and not all who protect are strong.' Anna here? She's both." "Jack," Anna mumbled, already drifting back to sleep, "you're mixing up your Tolkien quotes." "Am I, though?" Ambassador Theron found them an hour later. His 3 offspring and 2 humans sleeping in a pile of mixed species, warm and safe and absurd. He recorded the image on his communication device, knowing that back on Vexthar, such a scene would be considered impossible. But humans had always specialized in the impossible. They fell asleep sitting up, vulnerable and trusting. They adopted predators as packmates. They gave their warmth freely, their protection without hesitation. They were soft and fragile and utterly, devastatingly indomitable. The Krithani cubs had learned something that day that all their formal education couldn't teach. Humanity's true strength wasn't in their endurance or their adaptability or their technological prowess. It was in their infinite, inexplicable, world-changing capacity to love.